The Friday edition of Three Man Front. Many of you starting this Memorial Day weekend early. Safe travels. Hope you enjoy your time. No schedule change as of yet for the SEC baseball tournament resuming today. You're going to have two games. Auburn a part of the second half of the schedule today, but 6:30 tonight as they'll take on Texas A&M. If anything changes due to the weather there at the Met, we'll certainly let you know. We've got super regionals going on. College softball, Alabama's going to be in action later on today, weather permitting, as they take on LSU. So a lot to talk about. Busy first half of the show. The Coach Wimp Sanderson in his customary spot, presented by our friends at Craneworks. JP Shadrick joining us, talking Jacksonville Jaguars, NFL, college football season and beyond. You can find that there at jocksfm.com and the Three Man Front podcast. It's lunchtime, but it's also breakfast time for many of you before you go to work, right? Conrad's laughing. Sometimes his breakfast looks a little bit different. You want something made from scratch, you can get to the drive-thru. You can do it there at Crafts on Highway 280. It's the newest location, but it's the made from scratch. They got chicken and waffles. Try something different, not just the copy and paste. If you've got a breakfast meeting, they got a beautiful new store, a new beautiful dining room that you can enjoy there. But not just breakfast there at Crafts, the made-from-scratch stuff. All the made-from-scratch items you're going to get throughout the day, whether it's right now you want to go with a shareable, you want to go with a bowl, a wrap, maybe some of those delicious chicken tenders with the in-house made sauces to stick to your rib sides that you can get as well. And, yes, you can purchase beer through the drive-thru. Don't forget about frozen cocktails. You can get those in the dining room. It's Crafts, craftsbhm.com, craftsbhm.com. Always tell them Landrum from Jocks sent you. Braves in action tonight. Barrett Sallee, pregame host, the Braves Radio Network, as they host the Nationals. Braves continuing to play great baseball. Barrett, welcome in. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you guys?
We're doing wonderful. Just counting up wins. Braves are still the best in baseball when it comes to wins. A rough start there in Florida, 12-0. J.R. Ritchie has been sent down, but if there was ever a question, how is this team going to respond, I think we got our answer the last 3 days, Barrett.
Yeah, the last 3 days have been a lot of fun to see. Great pitching, clutch hitting, crooked numbers on the scoreboard. It's kind of back to where they were, last month, where they were taking advantage. It wasn't just one run here and there. It was a 3-run inning. It was a 5-run inning. That's why they were so successful early on. And, it kind of took a step back a little bit, but the pitching really hasn't taken a step back. It's just the offense hasn't had a lot of success, stringing hits together, but the last 3 days they did. So hopefully that's the start or rebirth of an offense that, prior to the last couple of weeks was by far the best in baseball.
All right, I want to go back to the pitching for a moment because Spencer Strider, if anybody had any questions the way that he has looked since he's come back, season high 9 strikeouts, 6 1/3 innings against the Marlins. Just your thoughts on him and the way he looks after he came back.
Yeah, we've talked to him a lot about, what he learned last year. He's a more complete pitcher. He doesn't have the triple digits, but he's not relying on the triple digits, which, for the majority of his life, I don't know what he did as a 12-year-old, but I would imagine he had some gas for his entire life. So, learning how to, to command a changeup and a curveball, learning how to, mix in those inside of an at-bat, that's not really something he's had to do as a major leaguer. So, I think for all of us to see him do that, it shows that, he actually did learn a lot last year, and it's made him a much better player. And I think moving forward, you're going to see a lot of appearances like you saw last night where, he's fully comfortable with any of his three main pitches and will throw them at any time. Whereas in years past, it was like, all right, well, I'm just going to gas him up and get out of here. It's nice to live like that if you can throw triple digits, but he's not at triple digits right now. So it's been fun to see the evolution of Spencer. And, I think the last 3 starts kind of showed me that his first start in Colorado was probably more by virtue of the thin air and him not necessarily knowing how to command those off-speed pitches in an elevation that it does. People talk about balls flying out of that park because of the elevation. It does mess with pitchers too.
Barrett Sallee, Braves Radio Network, joining us here on Three Man Front as he typically does on Fridays, and joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Aaron Bummer, that needed to happen. I think we both agree on that. The rest of the Braves rotation, though, Ray Lopez, I know the experiment, him going to the relief side when he came to the Braves, that was kind of where he was, and then going and morphing back into the starter role. I know that whether it's Waldrop maybe coming back, how can you see this maybe playing out here in the next month and a half, Barrett?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of what you've seen with Grant Holmes and like a piggyback off of him. I think they trust Martin Perez to go a little bit deeper. I mean, he's been so good this year. So I think you're going to have in those 4 and 5 spots, it's going to be Grant and Martin, but they are going to have guys reinforcements there just in case. And, one of those would be Didi Fuentes. I don't think you're going to see Didi Fuentes start. I think he made the team as a reliever coming out of spring training. That's where they want him right now. Walt has told us consistently that coming out of the bullpen and evolving into a starter was kind of the old school way of how you become a major league pitcher. Max Fried did that. Kyle Wright did that for us. Spencer Strider did that for us. And it does seem like, just kind of connecting some dots, that's the plan he has for Fuentes. But that doesn't mean he's going to be one of those piggyback guys. In fact, I think that's probably where he will be unless they need him in a high leverage spot in the back end, which I think he can do. He hasn't really had the opportunity to do it all that much, but when Waldrop comes back, I would imagine he just kind of fits into that sort of role as well. A starter or a piggyback guy, because we talk about this a lot on the pregame show. The 3 or 4 inning relief guy is going to be the next kind of pitchers who make a ton of money. In years past, and even maybe this year for some teams, you kind of just throw, someone in there in mop-up duty, right? I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I think you're going to see a lot of teams do what the Braves have done, and that is ask your starter to go 4. If he goes more than that, cool. But have somebody else ready to go, kind of like they're sharing starter responsibilities. I think that's what's going to happen. Braves are kind of doing that this year, and I think you're going to see more teams start to do that and pay for that, coming up in the next five years or so.
It's always a fun conversation, and since he's on the IL, Landrum doesn't get to rip Sean Murphy on a daily basis. So I'm just curious, when Sean Murphy does get healthy, what is the prognosis of him and his playing time?
Well, if Drake's healthy, in my mind, he's going to be a once every 5 days catcher, maybe twice. I think you want to have Drake as your DH because it does keep him off his feet, but you also want to have Dom as your DH. You also want to have maybe Dubon as your DH. It's one of those things where, yeah, it's a nice thought and it has worked to have, Drake as a DH, 2 out of every 5 games or something like that. But if that means Sean Murphy's going to get at bats, you really want that. So it's he's going to play. There's no doubt, because they do want to get Drake off of his feet. So I would imagine he gets a start every 5 days, and then maybe gets a DH role. But at this point, he's going to probably have to earn that DH role because, Dom's got that on lock right now. Yaz has been playing great. There are some really good players who are going to be candidates for that once Sean gets back too.
I'm not trying to get way too far ahead, but I do want to do a kind of a look in right now at just the National League East. The Phillies have been playing much better baseball, albeit the last 2 to the Reds they dropped. But since you had Don Mattingly taking over, but the Braves still they stand at 9.5 games up. I know the Phillies aren't going away per se, but as I was looking at this time last year in the standings, where the Braves are now, where the Phillies were last year and leading the division, and the Braves are kind of outpacing everyone at this point from last season. How much do you see this division changing?
I'm with you on the Phillies kind of making a little bit of a run, as long as they're healthy. The problem is they're so old.
Right.
And, yeah, the top end is there. I mean, that's a World Series caliber team if everybody stays healthy. That's hard to do for a team that has that many guys up there in age. So But I'm with you. I think the Phillies still have something left. But outside of that, it's really funny. I said this on the postgame show just because we like laughing at the Phillies and Mets all the time. Both of those teams have won 7 out of their last 10 and haven't picked up a single game on the Braves because the Braves have won 7 of their last 10, which is just absolutely hilarious to me. And so, yeah, I mean, I think for the Phillies, they have a run. I just don't think the Mets, they're so dysfunctional. I think personality-wise, they just don't mesh very well. It doesn't feel like they have a healthy locker room. So, but outside of that, I mean, look, a lot of people have told me, it's only May, whatever. I'm like, well, those 35 wins, they ain't going anywhere. They're in the bank. They're locked in a safe deposit box, and they're not going anywhere. So being 9.5 games up right now and having all of those wins already banked, it's almost unfathomable considering where we were this time last year.
I got to watch him a lot in St. Louis, and the pitcher tonight for the Nationals, I am very surprised that he has not been DFA'd by the Nats because Miles Michaelis has almost a 7 ERA. In his last 136 starts, he's given up 117 home runs. He's given up 11 home runs this year in 41 innings pitched. And I know that the Nats need someone to take the rubber every 5 days. But this guy is like throwing kerosene on a fire. So I don't even know what the over-under is on tonight's game.
You remember the Tom Yastrzemski hitting videos we used to watch? Fred McGriff was a part of those, and you had the little pedal where it would pop up the ball. And
yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, this guy, wow. I am so surprised.
Tell me how you really feel.
I mean,
tell me how you really feel.
He is awful. I mean, I ran into the owner of the Cardinals here a couple summers ago, and I said, listen, even if you get some BP baseballs for him, trade him for anything, seriously, because this really guy is terrible. And I saw what he's pitching tonight against the Braves, and I'm like going, oh my gosh, those families are going to have a great time out there in the bleachers catching all those home run balls tonight. It's going to be something else.
Yeah, he has not been very effective. There was a reason he was assigned late in spring training or middle of spring training by the Nats. He's 37 and not very desired for a reason. I mean, this is the guy who just randomly went to Asia to play for like 3 years just because he was bored.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of guy we're talking about here. So you say all those things, Pat, and then he's going to go out and toss like a 3-hit shutout.
Yeah,
tonight.
I know. That's usually how it works. I didn't want to curse y'all.
And if that happens, you are going to get some really angry, vulgar texts from me. Not going to lie.
No, I mean, listen, but hey, what do they say? A broke clock is right twice a day. Well, I mean, I guess he could go out there and actually have a halfway decent night, but my goodness gracious, he is 117 home runs and 136 starts.
Who is the young player for the Nationals that kind of showed out and flexed when we were in D.C. at the plate?
James Wood?
Yeah, James Wood.
He's the real deal. He's good.
That guy's really good.
Yeah, he's good.
Really good.
Yeah.
That's one of those. If you're heading over to Truist, that's a guy to keep your eye on. He's a fun young player to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the bleachers, you might want to get back there for that, in batting practice, because that dude can unload.
I did see some promotions that are coming up there at Truist. I saw Blooper, and this was on the Braves Vision. That's on the TV side for folks that don't know. But Blooper was doing a reenactment of a Chattahoochee video from Alan Jackson. Do we have an Alan Jackson promotion coming up?
That is something that's going to happen. I think it's in July. It's Alan Jackson. I think it's like kind of a half bobblehead Chattahoochee looking statue thing.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, why not?
Yeah,
we got an Outcast one. We've got a Jermaine Dupri one. Why not Alan Jackson?
Yeah. As we preview this series coming up this weekend, and hopefully we're gonna have good weather. I don't know what the weather looks like. What are they telling you guys? You guys are pretty in tune with the meteorologist. Looking good?
Let's just say this. I was told, hey, you know what? You might want to bring a toothbrush and some deodorant because you might be spending the night in the studio.
Long night.
Yeah. Take that for what it's worth.
Do you guys have access to everything when you're there overnight? Do they give you, is it carte blanche?
I mean, yeah, we can go do whatever we want. I haven't really spent the night there, but there are people who have. But I encourage everybody to listen to the Rain Delay show in the middle of the night because it gets kind of goofy. It gets kind of. I remember the Marcelo Zuna walk off last year. We finished the rain delay show at 12:15, and it was one of the craziest, wildest, stupidest rain delay shows you can possibly imagine. Before we started back up again, in a very good way, in all the fun ways. And I swear, like it is like we are drunk off boredom, and like look, we're not drinking in there, but it sounds like we are because we are complete idiots by about the third hour.
All right. Well, if it gets crazy, and I can tell that you're looking for content, I will call in, and I will.
You should do that.
Yes,
you should do that.
I'll raise controversy for sure. Well, Barrett, 2 out of 3, we're going for the sweep. What are we doing?
Always happy with 2 out of 3, and savor a sweep if we get it. But 2 out of 3 sounds fine to me.
All right, tell the boys, said hello. Tell Walt, I'm really proud of him.
I will. I'll talk to him at 5 today, and I'll tell him Landrum's really happy and proud of you.
I watch and I listen to the post game, but I really have gotten to. I know we're playing great baseball, but Walt Weiss seems like a guy that everybody would want to play for.
Yeah, I mean he's awesome. He's energetic, and honestly, he's more forthcoming than a lot of managers or coaches. Like he'll flat out tell you what he's feeling, even if it's not something he's happy with. So yeah, he's a good dude.
I have a feeling after that 12-0 game, he probably didn't have to say much. It was more players knowing that they well, it's baseball, whatever. It's a long season. I keep reminding myself. All right. Well, Barrett, you're going to be on the call tonight. Hopefully it's not a toothbrush and sleep overnight. But if so, that's a really cool story to say that you got to stay there.
We got a comfy couch.
Okay.
We got a comfy couch.
All right. Well, you can go rent a room at the Omni for like $1,500.
That is true. I don't know if I can expense that, but I'll try.
All right. Hey, Barrett, we appreciate it. Always listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. See you.
Barrett Sallee, Braves Radio Network, Braves versus the Nationals. You can hear the Braves all season long right here on Jocks. Barrett, all of our guests join us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Oh, with the rain coming in town, now is the right time to check out the safety of your trees in your yard with Golston Tree Service, 205-337-4443. Family-owned and operated for over 35 years. No job is too big or too small. From trimming to removal to grinding the stump and roots out, hauling away that last stick, they will do it there at Golston Tree Service. They also have that very important 24-hour emergency storm work service. So you need to call them at 205-337-4443, Golston Tree Service, and let them come and take a look at your property to make sure that you don't have something that potentially could fall over onto your house or your car in your driveway. And if something happens overnight, call them, 205-337-4443. Golston Tree Service.
Everything's bigger in Texas, right? What has Steve Sarkisian said? It's got everybody so upset. We'll tell you next.
It is 12:21 on this Friday, as a lot of you in our listening audience been experiencing some rain and a serious situation in Tuscaloosa. If you are listening to us on the western side of the state of Alabama, a tornado warning has been issued for Tuscaloosa until 1 o'clock. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued for Tuscaloosa until 1 o'clock. So please be advised of that. And that is a serious situation there in Tuscaloosa. So need to take shelter, as a tornado warning has been issued for Tuscaloosa until 1 o'clock. As the weather here in the central part of the day in central Alabama is obviously something that we will keep our eye on, and we will keep you posted. But again, a tornado warning has been issued for Tuscaloosa until 1 o'clock. So please be aware of this serious situation going on with the weather this afternoon. 1-800-239-WJOX. The text line is also open, 205-834-9450. If you missed any of our interviews today, you just heard Barrett Sallee from the Braves Radio Network. We had J.P. Shadrick on the program. He is from the Jacksonville Jags. And we also had Wimp Sanderson on the show. So if you missed any of those interviews, you can always download the Three Man Front podcast. We've also been telling you about the infamous comments by Steve Sarkisian. No, not the ones about the basket weaving at Ole Miss, but the comments he made yesterday at the Houston Touchdown Club, in which he took a shot at Texas Tech, saying that there's a team in our state that plays in another conference that has a schedule that I would argue if I played with our 2s and 3s, we could go undefeated. And they'll probably make the college football playoff this year. Major shot at Texas Tech, in which Cody Campbell, the billionaire booster for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, posted on social media, schedule us then. We've been talking about it for years. We are more than willing.
Do it on a Friday night.
Yeah. That's what Sark should do. Hey, yeah, we'll play you on a Friday night.
Play on a Friday.
Was that cool?
Let's do it.
Was that cool? All right, so it's very interesting. So Matt Hayes sat down with Steve Sarkisian back in March. And in that interview, he made the comment about Ole Miss and basket weaving. Well, so yesterday, Steve Sarkisian had an opportunity to address the media, really for the first time publicly, about those comments. This was his explanation, and the point he was trying to make, he defines it.
The only reason the Ole Miss thing came up is because two of my best friends were there, in Lane Kiffin and Pete Golding. And so I know when we would compete with them that they were able to take kids and then they were able to graduate. I probably shouldn't have used basket weaving as my example for the class, okay? Macroeconomics, I don't give a damn, whatever the class is. Yoga, we have yoga at UT. Like the class part of it was irrelevant. The point I was trying to make is at UT, you have to complete half of your degree at the University of Texas. 60 hours you have to do those 60 hours at UT to get a degree from the University of Texas. At a school like Ole Miss, I'll reference them that way, they can take one class and get a degree. Maybe that one class is basket weaving, maybe that one class is macroeconomics. I don't know. Statistics, irrelevant. Right. My point is that was one of the inequalities and discrepancies that we deal with in college athletics. We are not the NFL, where everything is standardized and everything is the same. We all operate under different contracts. That doesn't make sense to me. We aren't policing our own rules. And so why do we need federal intervention? For that very reason. Now we're struggling to get that done. That's why there's been all this talk of, is there potential breaking away? Could college football break away from the NCAA so that we can govern? It's not to break away to get away from everybody. It's to break away so that we can actually govern the rules that we're putting in place.
Steve Sarkisian giving us the line. We were talking about the inequalities of college football. The only reason the Ole Miss thing came up is because two of my best friends were there at Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin and Pete Golding. I was unaware that Pete Golding and Steve Sarkisian were best friends when Pete and Steve were on the staff at Alabama.
I was unaware that guys going in the transfer portal, it's just for most of them that I've seen, would give two rips about how many credit hours transferred.
No, I think that's a good point. I guess I also look at it as.
And by the way, that's a Texas problem, it sounds like.
So
if everybody else is allowing it, and we've made exceptions for other schools.
So Lane Kiffin and Pete Golding are your two best buddies, and so your first thought is, you know what? I'm going to take a shot at the place that they used to work at and currently work at because they're my best friends, and that's what we do.
And by the way, Ole Miss is on Texas's schedule this year.
We got the basket weaving game.
I still like Pat's idea of Destin. You just bring the most immaculate basket you can find if you're Pete Golding, and you hand it over to Sark. Say, I was thinking of you, buddy, best friend.
I like how he tries to say, it could have been macroeconomics. I mean, we have yoga at UT.
You see, we can get down there with you common people.
I really do. I mean, if you listen to the whole clip, I understand the point he was trying to make. He just did an awful job originally in the interview with Matt Hayes he went the low-hanging fruit of basket weaving. I mean, how many times when we were in college or whatever, that was like when I was in college, the big thing was, are you going to go take the golf class? Or take some type of athletic event, which would have been very easy. That would have been an easy A or music appreciation.
Well, geology before I got there was rocks for jocks. And then all of a sudden they decided to get serious and start.
That class was hard when I was in college.
Yeah, they got a professor in there that.
But you always hear basket weaving. What'd you major in? Basket weaving? I mean, that's always been like a stereotype for athletes.
I remember that was the joke with like Tim Tebow for a long time was always probably majoring in basket weaving at Florida.
Yeah, but it was an underwater basket weaving.
Oh, that's it. That's what it was. That's right.
Had fishing at Auburn. There was fishing. So, and I think that entailed hula hoops in the natatorium pool and just hitting your lure within the hoops.
Sounds very relaxing. Good for the mind.
I guess.
Sarkisian also questioned whether the current 12-team playoff format works for college football. He says, I think we either need to go to 16 or 24, or quite frankly, I think we just need to go back to 4. That's Steve Sarkisian's idea on that.
Well, the one time he made the playoff, it was 4 teams. So
these coaches
that worked for him.
These coaches do realize that more teams, more opportunities probably helps their cause, right?
Yes.
And do we want it where we go back to 4 and now it's just about who's spending the most money? To me, the 24 just answers a lot of questions and shuts up a lot of arguments.
Well, one thing's for sure, if they go to 24, it will never go. It's like the economy.
Yeah.
Like if you're paying a certain price for toilet paper today, it's not going to magically 6 months from now go well below what you're paying now. It's called inflation. It happens. If this thing goes to 24, they will never, ever go back to below 12
it's
or 8
kind of like your
or
annual
whatever.
budget.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
You better spend the money or they'll
Yeah.
find a way to not include it in your next one.
Damian Mitchell is sneaking into the studio, which
Why?
means we're going to do some Pat Ponders when we come back on 3-Man Front.
12:34, we got Pat Ponders coming up. Lindstrom, Pat, Conrad, and Damien's going to hang out with us. People texting in on the basket weaving. How about upside down underwater basket weaving?
Does it really matter if you're upside down when you're underwater?
No.
Might just all be the same.
Just don't breathe through your nose or breathe out. Right?
Just don't breathe.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
How does Damien handle that? He can't swim.
Wow. What an introduction.
Yeah. Welcome in.
It's
That's
good
a
to see you,
PSA
D.
for you to learn.
Yeah, it's a tough crowd.
I thought you had. Didn't you offer to give him?
I did.
lessons
We've
at
had
one
multiple
point?
people. We had a swim instructor that would text into the show, please. I want to help Damien. I've got a 3-year-old class today. Tell him to come on.
The disrespect.
Never did it.
No,
But,
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm going to learn.
well, get his wife to do it.
Exactly.
All right. 5 questions from Pat. This is what we call Pat Ponders.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
All right, question number 1. We were just talking about the college football playoff potentially expanding, whether it be 16 or 24. So the bulk of college football's popularity is every Saturday, it feels like an elimination game. So the question is, would a 24-team playoff kill the dreams that make the sport great if you were to expand it past where it is now in 12?
I don't think so. The way I see it is it's going to create more opportunities, and it'll depend. Maybe we'll have one of those off years where it just works out that way. But now with the SEC, the scheduling model we have there, and we consider them the best in the country, and what we get with the Big Ten, I'm not, unless we want to create a totally different playoff, I still think that there is a draw for the group of 5 non-power 4s to still be in there. And I think it quiets a lot of the criticism or the, hey, what about us kind of crowd. I don't know how you monetize any of this. I don't see it as 24 teams diluting a regular season. I see it making it more compelling for some of these games you would normally skip over because there's a playoff opportunity on the line.
I understand your perspective, but I think it dilutes it because everybody essentially gets a mulligan. It's, okay, yeah, you lost that game. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of it all. So some of these schedules, because none of them are going to be, quote-unquote, weighted the same as far as strength of schedule, if you get blown out by, Michigan or something, you're fine. Like, you still got a playoff spot. And if you've were to match up with them again, it's kind of we've seen this rodeo.
But and let me just interject, though, but let's just go back to the SEC and the schedule results we got. You remember how close a lot of those games were? So I think we're getting less of the blowouts, to your point.
Yeah.
And because there's so much parity, I would rather have one, maybe an extra, all right, get the benefit of the doubt, get another opportunity. Your season's still alive.
That's fair.
Okay, was the question about does it keep people's dreams alive?
The drama.
Oh, the drama, not the dreams alive. Oh, I mean, I think it'll take away some of the drama because, I see both of the points that y'all are making. But we talked about, like something we talked about the other day was, well, will it make rivalry week not as big of a deal because people will be resting and getting ready for the post? Like, I don't think that stuff's going to go away. I think you're still going to have the drama that comes along with that. And, I think there'll still be drama. It'll just maybe be different drama because you're still going to have the arguments about, 24, 25, 26 and who should be in and who shouldn't be in. So, I don't think it's
my argument is that for the
affect the drama
SMUs just from a couple
negatively.
of years ago, the SMUs of the world, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, you're still going to get in. We don't have to protest, riot in the streets. You're still going to get in, but it doesn't cost Ole Miss an opportunity. It doesn't cost Alabama an opportunity. It doesn't cost South Carolina an opportunity.
I can understand that.
All right, Las Vegas has just updated some opening lines for the first weekend of college football. I'm going to give you 3, and I want you to give me your lock for that weekend based on these 3 games. You got to pick one of them. Is it Auburn, 7-point favorite against Baylor? LSU, an 11-point favorite over Clemson? Or Indiana, 40.5 over North Texas?
You got to call the Brendan Sorsby hotline for that one.
Neil Brown's at North Texas. That's steep. That's rich. And if
Really?
and if you'll remember, Indiana, one of their first games of the season last year, they did not cover that spread.
That was against Old Dominion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going Auburn Baylor.
Yeah. Auburn is a 7-point favorite currently.
Yeah.
LSU is an 11-point favorite at home against Clemson. And Indiana is a 40.5-point favorite against North Texas.
Wait, so can I take Clemson to cover that?
Absolutely.
Okay, then,
What's your
I'm
lock?
taking Clemson. Yeah. I don't know if they'll win that game. I don't think they'll win that. I think Clemson's going to be better than people expect. They'll be better than they were last year.
All right, so you're taking North Texas? Or are you taking, I'm sorry, you said Auburn, right?
I'll go Auburn too.
Okay,
Yeah.
Did you take Auburn too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I wouldn't feel terrible about North Texas plus the 40.5. I don't know what that roster looks like.
That's a lot of points.
There's a lot of dudes
I was
going,
about to say, that's
including
all it
Mestamaker.
I was gonna say, there's a lot of dudes going.
A lot of dudes.
Question number 3. Fox Sports has rolled out 3 bold predictions for the upcoming NFL regular season. Which one of these feels the most believable that you could see happen? Okay. Number 1, Super Bowl hangover hits the Patriots. The last 2 Super Bowl losers followed up with losing seasons. The NFC South returns to New Orleans behind a revamped offense. Or
Two is in the way of that one.
the Los Angeles Rams miss the playoffs. Reason why, Matthew Stafford is 38 years old and facing one of the league's toughest schedules. So of those 3, which one seems the most believable according to Fox Sports predictions?
What was the second one?
The NFC South returns to New Orleans. The title.
I think it's the Patriots one.
Hangover.
Yeah, and you just go back, and I mean, you brought up the last couple of teams, but I mean, if you just go back over modern history of the NFL, there's a huge track record of teams that either win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl, and I guess the Patriots with Tom Brady were the exception, but this is a different era of that franchise. Yeah, I could see, and we can say what we want, there's going to be distractions there.
Mm-hmm.
If they trade for A.J. Brown like everyone thinks they're going to, that's certainly going to help their case. But, I mean, they benefited from playing a very easy schedule last year because they were terrible the year before that. So, yeah, I'll go with the Patriots one.
See, I'll go with the Rams and Matthew Stafford missing the playoffs because just the division is so tough anyway. I'm assuming that 49ers are going to be at 100%.
Their schedule's brutal.
Yeah, and, Matthew Stafford just got paid $55 million for a year. So, nice little swan song. Thank y'all for taking care of me. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I'm looking at Patriots schedule versus Rams schedule. Yeah, I think I'll go Rams as well. That'll be my pick.
And they're going to be in prime time too. You're going to see them at pretty much every week.
Yeah.
So by that, Ty will be starting like week
door opens
9.
for Ty.
Yeah.
He gives all the naysayers like you. That shut up juice.
Not me.
I'm talking to you.
Not me. Oh, okay.
I'm talking to
You
you.
were
You know who you are out there.
All right, question number 4.
It's all about to go to crap, by the way.
When you walk into a public restroom, what color in the toilet would you not want to see?
Red.
Okay.
Red or
I'm
brown?
going to go
Is
orange.
this after you go or before?
This is you walking in.
Okay.
Red or brown?
Yeah. That's
about it.
start with those.
It's orange because that's a combination of the two things you're thinking of. Like you look in there and it's a bloody stool, and you're like, I don't.
Huh.
Why did you?
Why are you?
They got to put the
No,
caution
we're
tape
just
on
sticking
for it.
with colors,
Yeah,
man.
I just said
Why'd you
color. It didn't have anything to do with what was being done in the
What the
toilet.
paint, the color paint of the toilet bowl? Yeah, that's what we were.
See,
getting
this
at
was a
there.
test question.
paint
I said
color.
nothing about 0.
He goes bloody still.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
The question was, when you walk into a public restroom, what color in the toilet would you not want to see?
Yeah, orange.
I mean, that's the worst case scenario. So,
Exactly.
hey.
That's like something's wrong.
Orange.
Yes. That's not normal.
We just
Yeah.
clean the toilet with Gojo. What are we doing?
Like the hydration levels they have. Like I hadn't seen orange.
No,
I hadn't seen that one. so-
no. I saw the same chart you did.
exactly.
The-
Like,
yeah,
drink
it's,
that. Hey,
it's
get your
like, what's the color of your pee?
If it's orange, yeah, you going to the
Yeah,
hospital.
if
You
it's
don't want
orange,
orange.
you know what?
I shouldn't be in
Check
this
that
bathroom.
bucket list today because you don't have long.
Exactly.
Orange.
I mean, he's
Yeah,
not
so I had
wrong.
the right answer. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we were definitely talking about the color of the kid. Get out of here.
Do you still drop your pants to your ankles when you're at the
When he's
urinal?
at the urinal. Yeah.
What?
It's so
What?
weird.
That is weird. You've never been in a urinal with him?
No. Like, no.
Yeah, standing at the urinal, he goes like second grade
Hey,
all the way down to the ankles.
anchor down, baby.
It's so weird if you're not ready for it.
Yeah, the hardest part about going to pee is getting my tie back on afterwards. That's the tricky part.
Hey. Brother's blessed.
Orange. Orange.
He's not going to live that one down.
It was the right answer.
Orange.
Yeah, you know the first thought in your head if you see that. I can't even say the words on the radio, but it's
I got to get out of here.
yeah. And then you're probably saying a quick prayer for the person that came before you because you know they're having a way worse day than you are.
Oh yeah, you know.
Yeah.
All right, the final question comes courtesy of BB.
Let's go.
She writes, throwing confetti from the stands, one of the most deeply rooted traditions among soccer fans in Argentina, will no longer be allowed in Buenos Aires stadiums following a fire that broke out during a recent match. Firefighters had to intervene to extinguish the flames that damaged several stadium seats and caused spectators to flee. This made me think about all the stuff that goes on in SEC football stadiums, from smoke machines to fireworks to confetti and balloons. Sometimes when the game starts, there is such a residual fog that the players can't even see. So what is your opinion of these fan experiences and the safety factor? Something to look closer at when the World Cup comes to the U.S.
I'm okay. I like the tradition, whether it's hockey and throwing stuff on the ice, just as long as you're not taking away from the game or inciting violence in the
Right.
stands. But yeah, I think that let's keep some of that stuff. I don't know. I don't understand the whole Texas Tech tortilla thing, but that's their thing.
Yeah.
Now, golf balls, liquor bottles, let's keep that out.
Well, I mean, in hindsight, I mean, it was at Lane Kiffin. Now it's just kind of about par for the course.
True.
But no, it's there's a safety factor involved in that. But I'm cool with it. Like, there's just, let's not overdo it. But yeah, some of those traditions and some of the, you've paid enough to, get into the stadium. Hey, have fun.
Throw popcorn instead of confetti.
Well, I think it's part of it too. Like if you're going to a visiting stadium or something, even if it's a home game for your team and you have a visiting fan base coming in, like getting to see the way that they do things, that's part of the fun of the experience. It's not fun if everybody's just sitting there. Even though
you're a part of the other fan base, you want to experience what they get to experience.
Correct. You want to see the fanfare and how other people do it. And maybe it's to make fun of them, or maybe it's to go, oh, okay, that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, that's all part of the price of admission, man. I want to see all of that.
You used to go, you go down to Auburn, you'd see visiting fans taking pictures with the Eagle.
Yeah. I mean, third Saturday in October. Lighten up your black and mild, midway through the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to do that one anymore.
It's in Neyland, brother.
Sipping on your orange drink.
When's the last time y'all went up there?
Right before you
Exactly.
drop your
4
drawers in the
years ago,
urinal.
5 years ago.
A pandemic happened. Yeah, it was the middle of a pandemic. Don't even count.
That is this week's
Jalen
Pat
Hyde just scored
Ponders
again.
here on the program.
They won without him.
I did.
And our right fielder is about to misplay another fly ball.
Golly, it
Wasn't that bad.
That was brutal. That was brutal.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's pretty bad. All right, three-man front. We continue here on this Friday. Three-man front. So we continue here on this Friday. Lands from Pat, Conrad, Damian hanging out. Hope everybody's doing well. 205-834-9450 on the text line as we take you there now. A lot of people chiming in. Some of Conrad's comments.
Imagine that.
Yep. Concerning a question that originated in Pat Ponders about disturbing colors you do not want to see when you walk in to a public restroom in the toilet. I said red. Damian said brown. And then Conrad went orange.
See, I'm going to let Pat down, though, if I just say brown. Right? Like,
that would have been a letdown, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. See,
Seriously.
like he's looking for a little more than
No,
that.
you went very descriptive with what made up that orange.
I've gotten some text messages wanting to clarify whether you pull your trousers all the way down to your ankles when you use the urinal.
Just because
Do
me
not
and you,
do that.
just because me and Pat convinced you that when you relieve yourself in the ocean, you take your entire swim trunks off, like every other normal human being. You didn't.
Nah.
No.
I don't even swim, and I know that's a lie.
But public restroom, we don't pull our drawers all the way down to our ankles.
Okay, well, I just
Because
got
your
confused.
trousers then get on the dirty floor. You don't do that. We try to tell you over and over again.
Floor's not.
But
that
you're also
dirty
the
in there.
person that when you go use the toilet, that you do not put anything down on the toilet. You just
Well,
Yeah.
you be raw dogging toilet seats?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's real bad, I'm going to hover, but work on the thigh muscles.
Rather be safe than sorry. Just kind of, lay a little blanket on it.
But then you're touching the.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
It is.
I don't know how effective it is, but it's more just peace of mind for me.
Right.
I typically avoid
Because I'm thinking,
Sorry, I typically avoid
Having
yeah,
Yeah,
like in pub, like
But you've been in a pinch though, like.
I mean, yeah, every now and then you are, but a lot of times, you can just kind of power through and
That ain't good for your health.
hold it in there for a little bit.
that ain't that. Nah. No, I learned that at a young age. Nope. Nah, you just gotta
you start stretching, do something.
Start breaking out in sweat. No. Just go ahead and pull over.
It's mental. It's just like sports, man. It's all mental. Little physical.
Ask this question, I'll ask it again. Have you ever been in a public restroom, somebody's in the stall, you hear that they're really struggling, there's a lot of violence going on in there. Have you ever offered moral support even though you have no idea who the individual is? Just hey, good luck, buddy.
Nope.
No.
I stay in my own lane.
Nope.
You are sorry human beings. Because I'm that guy that needs that help.